Chapter 2, Valencia. I'm not sure what God looks like. I don't know if there's one big God in heaven, or if there's 2 or 3 or 30. Or maybe one for each person. I'm not sure if God is a boy or a girl, or an old man with a white beard, but it doesn't really matter. I just feel safe knowing someone's listening. I mostly talk to Saint Rene. His real name is Renatus Guipol. He was a French missionary who traveled to Canada. While he was there, he made the sign of the cross over a kid's head, and they thought he was spreading curses, so they took him prisoner and killed him. I found out about him because on my 10th birthday, this girl Roberta gave me a book called Famous Deaf People in History. I would have never given Roberta a book about famous blonde people, or famous people who talk too much, or famous people who tried to cheat off my spelling test, all of which describe Roberta. But the good thing was that I found out about Saint Rene. I don't know sign language, but I taught myself the alphabet, so I made up a sign name for Saint Rene. I cross my middle finger over my index finger, the sign for R, and tap it 3 times lightly against my lips. That's one of the first things I do after I take off my hearing aids for the night. Then I stare at the ceiling and imagine my prayers traveling up, 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 and hovering over my bed until they lift all the way through the roof. Then I imagine them landing on a cloud and sitting there waiting to be answered. When I was younger, I thought the cloud would get so heavy that all my prayers would come falling down and I'd have everything I wished for. But now I'm 11, so I know better. I still picture them sailing up, though. There's no harm in that. I only pray at night because it's my least favorite time of the day. Everything is still and dark, and I have too much time to think. One thought leads to another until it's 2 in the morning and I haven't slept a wink. Or I've slept, but not well. I didn't always hate the nighttime. I used to crawl into bed and drift off to sleep, no problem. It's not because of the dark. That's never bothered me. One time my parents took me to this place called Crystal Caverns, where you went underground and couldn't even see your hand in front of your face. I wasn't scared at all. I loved it down there. It felt like an explorer. Afterward, my dad bought me a souvenir snow globe, only there are bats inside instead of snow. I kept it right next to me on my nightstand, and I shake it before I go to sleep, just because. So it's not the dark that keeps me awake. It's the nightmare. The nightmare goes like this. I'm standing in a big open field, one I've never stood in before. The grass is yellow and brown under my feet, and I'm surrounded by thick crowds of people. Nightmare me knows what they are, even though they don't look like anyone I know in real life. They all look at me with round black eyes without whites in them. Then a girl in a blue dress steps forward, away from the crowd. She says 2 words, solar eclipse. I know what she's saying, even though I'm not wearing my hearing aids, and she doesn't move her mouth. That's how it is in dreams sometimes. The girl is pointing skyward. Nightmare me looks up to where she's pointing and watches attentively, not scared yet. I crane my neck, along with everyone else. We all watch the moon move in front of the sun. The blazing blue sky turns gray, then dark, and Nightmare me thinks it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. It's strange how nightmares work, though. Somehow, Nightmare me knows things won't end well. As soon as the moon finishes passing the sun, my blood rushes into my ears, My palms dampen with sweat. I look down from the sky, slowly, slowly, not wanting to see it. And just as I suspected, everyone is gone. The whole crowd. Even the girl in the dress. Nothing moves. Not one single blade of grass. The field stretches on for miles and miles. The moon has pulled everyone away. All but Nightmare me. I'm the only person on the face of the earth. And there's a little like dot dot, like time has passed. I can't tell what time it is, but I know it's late, like past midnight late. As hard as I want to not think about the nightmare, here I am, lying in bed and thinking about it. I shake my crystal cavern's globe and watch the bats flutter around, and then I try to focus on the bumpy paint on my bedroom ceiling. My dad calls it popcorn paint. When I was a little girl, we'd pretend the ceiling was really made of popcorn. We'd open our mouths wide, let it fall in. Next time I'll paint a licorice ceiling, my dad would say. He liked to say that Twizzlers were one of his favorite food groups. I'd shake my head and say, chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. It was our routine, but we don't do things like that anymore. I don't think he knows how to be a dad to an 11-year-old girl. You can't sit an 11-year-old girl on your shoulders, especially not when she's all knees and elbows and 5'5". And you can't make hot chocolate and wake up for Santa Claus and read picture books. But it was still nice to remember the popcorn licorice chocolate ceiling. It's better than thinking about the nightmare. I close my eyes and feel the hum of the ceiling fan against my cheeks. I make a promise to myself. If I have another nightmare tonight, I'll talk to someone and ask for help. I don't know who, but someone. Not my mom. Don't get me wrong, there's times when my mom is easy to talk to. If you catch her on a good day, she isn't too mom-like. But I can never tell which mom I'll get. Sometimes she's overprotective, overbearing, over everything. I once asked her flat out if she treated me that way because I'm deaf, because that's what it feels like sometimes. I'm not overprotective because you're deaf. I'm overprotective because I'm your mother, she would say. But something in her eyes told me that wasn't the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. I'm good at reading eyes, same as lips. I most definitely don't want Mom to know about the nightmare. She started asking me about it every morning and every night and insists that I see a psychiatrist or something. Then again, maybe that wouldn't be so bad. Maybe then I'd get some sleep. I close my eyes, think of something nice. The coming summer. Yes, that's what I'll think about. 6th grade is over, and the nice, lazy summer stretches ahead. Okay, so maybe I don't have a gazillion friends to hang out with. So what? I'll make my own fun. I'll explore the woods and take notes for my zoological diary. Maybe draw some bird sketches. There's plenty to do. I don't need a gazillion friends. I don't even need one. All I need is me, right? Solo's the best way to go. It's a lot less trouble.